This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
And welcome back, everybody. She is a life coach of sorts, but really hyper focuses on helping people heal holistically and through trauma, specifically narcissists and narcissism. We've talked about that before. Today, we're going to do a deep dive in supporting somebody who's left one of those relationships and what you might be feeling, maybe the fear, maybe anxiety over getting out of the relationship and everything involved in that. So much insight we've gotten from her. She's also the author of some amazing books as we reclaim your life after dealing with challenging situations. She's our professional of the year. Lou Canino is back with us. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you, Steve?
Real good, real good. Been learning a lot since we've been getting together.
Probably more than you want to learn.
Well, you know what? Knowledge is power. And, you know,
absolutely.
As you look over your life over years, you know, identifying what may have been happening in your life. And, you know, God bless you if you've been in one relationship your whole life and it's fantastic and everything's great. Usually not the case. Usually there are multiple relationships along the way. And with that comes challenge. Let's say you were in a narcissistic relationship. You found the courage, fantastic, to move forward out of the relationship. What happens there? What do you often experience from people that you work with that they're experiencing?
So previously we had talked about the trauma bond. So for sure, that's like the first thing that comes up, you know, working through the whole situation of getting unaddicted to them. But survivors have a lot of fear, especially, I would say, much more women. I'm not saying that men don't. Men, I think it more translates into anxiety because a lot of men are not going to say that they feel fearful. But there is, so what narcissism is a lot based on is they become narcissistic, you know, adapt this personality disorder because they do have a lot of fear. Typically in their childhood, it can be a lot of fear, how they're growing up, you know, maybe they have in a volatile home, you know, and that gets put onto us. And we walk away and we're just like, people don't want to go out. And I don't mean like going out and having a good time. They don't want to go out in public. They have a lot of, you know, just anxiety. I remember myself. I will never forget. I was standing in Target and, you know, I probably was at the precipice of like working through breaking the trauma bond. And all of a sudden, I just was like having a major panic attack. And I was like, I just need to get out of here. Like, I need to go home. I can't be around people. I don't know. Fear just like totally took over. And I have a good friend who lives in Colorado, and I started texting her. And she called me and she literally, I mean, here I am in the middle of Target with like tears streaming down my eye. Like I couldn't even hold it back. I was in such like a terror. I mean, and I had no idea like what's happening to me. Why am I like having this major like feeling? I am so fearful to be out in public. I want
to dive into that because I would think before you leave the relationship, that's where you're having the fear of being alone, fear of the person maybe retaliating, depending on the situation. There's a lot of things going in there. So now you're doing your thing. You moved away from the relationship. What is that fear? Is it because you've been beaten up mentally we're assuming it wasn't physical, mentally from the narcissist, you've gotten to a point where you don't even have confidence in yourself. Here I'm at, Walmart, and I'm like, I don't even know how to this. I don't know how to function now. This is new to me in some regards. Your thinking is new because now you're doing it by yourself. Not that they were really with you when they were with you. Is that what's going on there? You just had that realization at that moment?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a realization so much as it is more of like that innate feeling because they really do control you. So now, they control your thoughts, they control their introject into you. First they've projected all of their fear and anxiety and all of the things that they couldn't handle onto you. So now you're carrying what isn't even yours. And then on top of that, they kind of have put you in this bubble where it's almost like a subliminal subconscious, you need to like go to them for reassurance of what you're just living life.
I see this in a different way now because they've conditioned you so much that you need their approval and support to even know you're picking out the right towels at Walmart.
Just to be in public, just to be out, just to be around people. You all of a sudden have these crazy insecurities, and literally everyone who goes through this is like, what's happening to me? Like, am I really an introvert? Am I really like, I don't want to be around people? And it's a whole unpacking of like remembering who they used to be, who you used to be. And then really you know, you become somebody new when all is said and done and you get through the most of your healing journey with this. I mean, you become a whole new person.
Is it really a product of, and this is, a common phrase, but this seems like what it is. You lost yourself.
Mm. Yep.
That's what's going on.
1,000%.
Mm.
Yeah. Hmm. So they live in a fantasy, and the only way that you can cohabitate with them or be in a relationship with them or any type of in any type of connection with them is to live in their fantasy. They basically turn you into a child. And
Wow.
so you're either the child or you're the mom, and they are too. And it's kind of this back and forth. And it's just as Professor Sam Vaknin would say, it's a theater play. It's fake. Everything is fake. But that's the only way that you can be in any type of relationship with somebody like this. Now, we're not just talking about somebody who could have be high in narcissistic traits. We're talking about somebody that actually has narcissistic personality disorder, or basically any of the cluster B, psychopath, sociopath, borderline.
I have to think now, there's a reason you entered into that relationship in terms of your mindset. And a lot of times, even therapists will say that we try to find something that's missing in us.
Mm.
And I've even heard recently a number of times that we're looking to help somebody heal from something. They're looking to help heal from something, and that's why we pick certain people in our lives. And it can change along the way. But you maybe not had a lot of confidence in yourself, had some anxiety, fears, or whatever already before entering this relationship. And you did because that person was there. You feel like, this, secretly in your mind, they give me strength to move my life forward. And I feel safe with them and it's all good. But it was just an act on their end.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, and to be quite honest, like 100% what you're saying is like we definitely draw people into our lives that of things that we need to heal, right? So, you know, they're putting on this facade of like, I'm strong, I can protect you, can take care of you,
Mm.
yada, yada, yada. And you're like, okay, yeah, like this, I like this. This is what I want. Of course, then we're fooled, right? At the end of the day, we're fooled. But they offer the fantasy that I oftentimes see, and I've unpacked it even with myself. They come into your life when you're in a hard, they don't come in, they're never going to come into your life when you're the strong person with good boundaries, have done a lot of healing work. We all still going to ever always have something, but have done a lot of work on yourself and feel confident. They never come into your life at that point. They're coming when you've had something happen or you're in a position where things really aren't good. They offer that fantasy.
Mm.
And I know for myself with this last guy, it's hard to unpack a lot of times, like older relationships, like when I first got with my husband so long ago. But I know with this last guy, he was offering a fantasy, and I wanted that. It's like a coping mechanism.
It's like they're salespeople.
Yeah.
Hmm. All right. Is it also a situation where the narcissist, it's like the injured bird. The
Mm.
narcissist swoops in. I got you. I'm going to take you to the vet. I'm going to make you okay. Everything's going to be great. I got you. You might not even present that way, but they pick up on it. Maybe they
Oh,
read the energy and they're feeling it. And
yeah.
it's, oh, I got one. And this one is going to make me feel like I'm, 100 feet tall.
Yeah.
I'm going to build myself up by connecting with this person. Do you think that they either intentionally or unintentionally, but that's the way they're wired, that they just they find people that are, vulnerable?
Um, well, yeah, I would have to say 99.9, and this is a very unpopular opinion because those of us who are survivors, we all like to think they picked us and because we had so much empathy. No, they don't even care about that. They did not pick us. We picked them because we're a mess.
Mm.
Truth be told, we were a mess at whatever given time, and we picked them. They offered us something. Now, yes, we got more than we bargained for. We did
Mm.
not, they didn't come with a warning label that said, tread lightly. You're going to get addicted. It's going to mess up your life. You're going to, have to break a trauma bond and, years of therapy and healing. But we were drawn to, it's usually something that feels very familiar to us. So we like that
Mm.
because even if it's traumatic, right? If it's giving us those butterflies and it's making us feel like anxious, we like what's familiar because we know how to handle that.
Yeah. Oh,
We're drawn.
relationship long ago. I was young, did get married, and this person was combative. I'm not that way. I'm very chill. And they would just want to start. I'm like, no, we'll just figure it out. Whatever it might be. It could have been the most insignificant thing. controlling in some regards. I had issues because, I was connected to my family and then their family really wasn't. They kind of dissolved, whatever. So then I couldn't be with my family, even though I have a small family. But what I figured out was their father was abusive.
Mm.
And I bring this up because it rides in line with what you said. What's the familiar spot for them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Combativeness, confrontation. That was the happy spot. Not for me.
Right. Right.
But for them, they didn't even know they were doing it. But it's interesting as you look back, and I'm curious, have you done that? And maybe connected, we're not condoning anything here, but
Right.
understand and connect the dots as to why that person was that way and why they acted that way toward you. What was going on with them? Have you done that?
Oh, yeah. Every narcissist I've been with to diagnose. So, yeah, they had very, very abusive, very
Mm,
volatile households, but I did too. So that felt familiar to me. I knew how to handle that, or so I thought. They're very different. Very different. It's different when it's a parent than when it's a significant other. So my fawning didn't work as well in the relationship.
hmm. Now, I know what you're saying, and now I'm remembering things. My parents got divorced when I was very young. So as a child, you witnessed, but there was never, things directed at me personally, but, maybe I picked that person because I don't know, it's interesting how the mind works when you start kind of peeling layers back and seeing what's going on there. So what's the resolve, the comfort for somebody that gets out of a relationship, has found the courage to move on? They're at Walmart and they kind of break down and they have those realizations. Where do we go from there?
Well, it's kind of like what you said, your significant other was trying to separate you from your family. You can have a relationship because they love to isolate you. So that's one of the biggest challenges when people leave these abusive relationships is they don't have a support system. They don't have people. They've allowed themselves, and I did too, to be alienated.
Hmm.
Um, I was lucky that I wasn't alienated from my son, and I did have like a few friends that were not local that we still kept in touch. So I had somebody I could call up and
Sure.
talk to. But a lot of people have no one. I mean, they
Mm.
just have no one. And I do actually have a free support group on Facebook and
Cool.
anybody can join. So I always encourage people like don't be alone because this is not something that you can do alone. I mean, but
And I
yeah.
have to imagine the one of the biggest challenges is time, because as time goes on, you've started growing roots in the relationship. Now you have a house, maybe you have a family, on and on and on and on. So as time goes on, it's harder to move away from the situation and then finding the courage, like you just look like, well, what am I going to do? Financially, all of those, which is normal for, you know, any relationship that
Hmm.
that isn't working. But now add this to it, where you have somebody that is like almost jumping on top of you, where you can't even function because they're trying to control every aspect of it. Very challenging.
Yeah. And, to go back to what you were saying, because I didn't really quite answer your question. Sorry about that.
All right.
Um, in regards to like what do people do at that point? So again, it, probably we don't have enough time to really unpack it, but you need to find a
Mm.
coach or somebody to work with that understands narcissistic abuse because Professor Sam Vaknin, who is actually a diagnosed narcissist, but he's 30 plus years studying narcissistic abuse, and he is professor of psychology. And, if you like want to do a deep dive and you like lectures, you can listen to him on YouTube. It's all free. He coined the phrase narcissistic abuse because the healing is different. It is a different type of abuse than just, I don't want to say just, but then domestic violence. It's like, I don't want to say it's special, but it's unique. And, you got to do a lot of energy. You can find an energy worker that helps too. I do energy work with my clients because you need to learn how to reduce the significance of the narcissist in your life in order to remove that introject that is causing you all of that fear that has caused you to lose who you are. It's a process. And you have to have patience with yourself, because usually people leave and they're like, I want to feel better right now. Yep, of course we do, but you usually feel worse before you get better.
You got run over by a car. You didn't realize it in the relationship. It's going to take some time to heal for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Jeez. And the longer you stay, people think, well, and I understand sometimes they have to stay in contact because they have kids, children and there's no choice. But if you don't, people think, oh, I can handle it. I can no, because any contact allows them a chance to abuse you. And because it's psychological, because it's manipulation, a lot of it you don't even see. It's the brainwashing, it's the conditioning. Just talking to them, just having them send you texts, whatever, reach out through social media, whatever it is, even just thinking like, oh, they're watching me. Because a lot of them do that. A lot of them want to stalk you afterwards. They want to know, what is he or she doing? Are they going to smear me like I'm doing to them and talk nonsense?
I know somebody going through this right now, and divorce has just started, the paperwork and everything. And she has an order of protection against him, but wait, it wasn't even intentional. It was a number of months ago. There was, they were discussing things. It got a little heated. He took her phone and threw it or kept it or whatever it was. She couldn't find it. And 911 got dialed. And because he threw the phone and it was lost, he got arrested just for that. And then now there's the OP. They're in the same house. And, it's equalized itself out to some regards, but he's still, just what you said, is still like hovering. Yeah, just crazy stuff.
It's very challenging to try to heal if you're in contact with them.
100%.
Almost impossible.
That's where you come in to help navigate all this stuff, because you understand. Sherry, what's the best way to find you?
My website, which is SoulfullyWild.com.
I love how you're so grounded. You really are. Like, you're easy to talk to, and you've identified you've been through a lot, but it's inspiration for those going through it, that there's a good life on the other side. You got to get to the other side.
There is.
Yeah.
There's hope.
There's hope.
Don't lose hope.
And you offer that, so I appreciate that. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Steve. I appreciate you.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.